شكرا حبيبي. السلام عليكم.
Hi everyone. Today we are going to present about the Islamic banking system, and members of this group are Leonardo Bova, Lorik Berisha, and Indrit Mehmeti. So first, our table of content consists, we are going to specifically talk about the Islamic banking system, about riba, which is known also as interest, prohibition of riba in Islam, principles of Islamic banking, deposits in Islamic banking, types of accounts in an Islamic financial institution, differences between Islamic and conventional banking, and also we took an example, Islamic banking in Kenya. So first we have to start as the introduction about Islamic banking. So we know that Islamic banking refers to a system of banking which is consistent with Islamic Sharia law and is also guided by the Islamic economists. Islamic law also prohibits the payment or collection of riba, which is known as the interest. So in other words, for example, if you want to buy a car and you want to take a loan from the Islamic bank, first you have to talk to the investigators. So after the investigator gives you the permission, they are probably going to buy you the car, and after that, even in the documents, they will be shown that you are paying only for the car. So the main argument against interest is that money is not used as a commodity with which to make a profit, but that it should be earned on goods and services only, not on control of money itself. So features of Islamic banking, as we know, are mostly considered to be ethical. However, this cannot be determined as a certainty, or can one commit oneself to it or bear any loss sustained. Main conditions governing Islamic investment include: money does not generate money in itself, but it becomes productive if it's involving an activity or work. Investment is subject to the rule of profit and loss sharing. So after that, we have to talk about the riba, which we know that the Islamic economic system revolves upon the prohibition of riba, also known as the interest. So main two reasons why we do not ribas are prevented or prohibited are that any excess compensation over and above the principal, which is without due consideration. So we know that every loan that draws interest is riba. We can consider two kinds of riba known as the riba al-nasai, or deferred usury or interest, which is related to extension of the repayment period for additional payment of money. Also, it is called riba jahiliya, which is one of the worst form of riba that was used before in Islam. Another form of riba is al-fadl, means the excess which is taken in exchange of specific homogeneous commodities, such as selling gold with another gold, whereby one has more weight than the other. And because of this kind of prohibition, I'm going to state also two paragraphs from Quran telling that riba is prohibited, and they are that those who benefit from interest shall be raised like those who have been driven to madness by the touch of the devil. This is because they say trade is like interest, while God has permitted trade and forbidden interest. And the other one is that cursed is the receiver and the prayer of interest, the one who records it, and the two witnesses to the transition. They are like in a guilt. So after this, we are going to continue with the principles of Islamic banking, which are going to be presented by Indrit Mehmeti.
The two parts that I will explain are the principles of Islamic banking and deposits of Islamic banking. Islamic banking is based on the principles of trade, partnership, sharing of gains and losses, and also the prohibition of risks. It also prohibits the interest-based banking, unclear contracts or speculations, financing of haram transactions such as alcohol, gambling, or porn, and so on. Related to the lending in Islamic banking, Islamic financing involves a buy-sale deal or a rent-sale deal. There is always a fundamental asset behind the deal. Allah remind us that we have permitted trade and forbidden riba. So in Islamic banking, the lender must share the risk also with the borrower. Therefore, there are some types of of lending contracts such as murabaha, that means sale contract, mudaraba, that means part financing, musharika is a partnership, ijara is rental or lease, istisna, salam. So all of this I will explain now. Murabaha is the term that comes from the Arabic word rabah, which means profit in short-term trade financing. So client identifies goods which he wishes to buy and then requests to the bank, which the bank will finance the transaction. Then the bank will buy that goods and resell them to the client, for example, with 10% agreed profit, and then the client repays that in agreed for a period of time. The second one is musharika. This is a joint enterprise formed for business where all the partners, bank and client, contribute in the capital and share the profit related to a specific ratio, while any possible loss in turn shared related to the capital contribution to the two parties. So both bank and the client contribute capital, therefore profits or losses are shared in agreed ratios. So interest, I will make a comparison with musharika and interest banking. For example, there are some characteristics of interest-based banking. For example, they have the fixed rate of return percentage. Also, bank does not take any share or loss and risk, and the bank is not involved in owning or selling the goods. The third, I will explain the mudaraba. This is the partnership where the bank contributes 100% of the capital, while the profit is in turn shared on agreed ratio. For example, if there are any losses, the bank will absorb it fully. So this is the equivalent to 100% financing by the bank. Ijara is the same as leasing. The bank purchases the asset or a house, for example. There is a joint ownership between the client and the bank. The client rents it from the bank, and then he buys out of small amounts for a shared bank time to time, and then ending up with 100% ownership. Salam is a sales transaction where a commodity, usually, for example, agriculture goods, it's sold before it comes to the existence. The price of commodity must be paid in advance to make the transaction valid. The second part I will explain is the deposits in Islamic banking. Clients' deposits fall under the category of loans to the bank, and the bank is obligated to pay back. Banks must protect these assets on behalf to the clients. Since banks do not take interest, clients must be partners with the bank. The only way to become a partner with the bank is to open an investment account, for example, a time or saving deposit, which allows bank to invest their monies. Therefore, profits will be closely to prevailing deposit rates. So, Derek, you will continue.
In Islamic banking, each customer is a partner with the Islamic financial institution. The relationship is classified as a mudari partnership. So profits resulting from the account are divided between the parts. IFI receives a certain percentages of the net profit, and this is shared as agreed between the customer and also the bank. Different types of accounts in the Islamic banking system are current accounts, investment saving accounts, and I'm also going to talk about the differences between the Islamic and conventional banks. Current accounts are an interest-free loan by the account holder to the Islamic bank, which maintains the funds and also pays them to the customer demand. They are similar to a loan in guarantee and the payment of the same amount. The bank has the right to invest the funds it is holding without the customer bearing any losses. So when the customer is not in danger of losing, he cannot also make profits in this type of accounts. We also have investment saving accounts. Many Islamic banks offer this opportunity to the customers. This account allows the customers to place their money in a safe environment till the time when they wish to withdraw their money. Profits and losses made in this type of accounts are kept to a minimum. They are similar to a minimum monthly balance, and profits are paid and losses are reduced after the expiry of the financial year. In this type of the account, the balances under this type of accounts are invested on the basis of unrestricted mudharaba. An Islamic bank has the right to do everything necessary to realize common interest. An account holder authorizes the Islamic bank to invest the profits made from the moment they register their account. Differences between Islamic and conventional banking. There are many differences between the two banking systems. However, the Sharia law is the one, the Sharia law makes the key difference between the two banks. For example, in the Islamic banking system, according to the Quranic rule, if the debtor is in a difficulty, grant him time till it's easy for him to repay. This does not necessarily mean procrastination, since the bank will apply different Sharia laws to guarantee its right, but however they cannot act on their self-interest. And also, all the funds in the Islamic banking system must be invested in lawful areas that achieve social and economic development. Areas that are outlawed by Sharia law must be avoided, and the capital is invested on a partnership basis between the bank and the entrepreneurs. All Islamic financial institutions are required to have a Sharia supervisory board committee. This board should consist of trustworthy scholars who are highly qualified to issue religious ruling on financial transactions. In addition, these board members should have considerable experience in modern business and financial dealings and transactions. Now, Janab Deboa will continue to present Islamic banking in Kenya.
شكرا.
Wait.
Thank you everyone for being today here.
حبيبي والحج والشكران. السلام عليكم حبيبي. أيوة حبيبي. هذا الدوسير.
Ladies and gentlemen, and Bedwendosia, thank you for being here today.
علاش على الواحد ومعك كينيا؟
His Highness is going to talk today for the banking system in Kenya.
واش على واحد ولا شو الواحد وعندوش زعما حدو يقول واحد جوج واحد
The introduction of fully fledged Islamic banking in Kenya has been eagerly awaited by the Muslim community, and the last 2 years has been seen launching of Islamic banking windows by a number of conventional banks.
الحمد لله الحمد لله.
In the name of God.
واحد وشو واحد بس خالص مش واحد فهمني واحد ويدشو.
Both the Barclays Bank in Kenya Limited and Kenya Commercial Bank Limited operate Islamic windows with a former branding its services La Riba Banking.
الحمد لله.
In the name of the God.
واحد اش حلو ناو تقص واحد تقص على واحد ويدشو واحد حل مش قال واحد.
The entry into the market of both Gulf African Bank and the First Community Bank is expected to usher the first 100% Sharia-compliant financial institution with an array of production of their consumers.
واحد شو اما هادو كل واحد شنو يفرم ايتو
There is currently a lot of expectation from both Muslims and non-Muslims for this alternative form of banking that will bring a new form of partnership and interest-free bank.
الحمد لله. والدو وحشو الوالي وعنده سواء حلو ما يجوا ما يختلفوش مين.
The public has suffered for too long from high interest rates and violate fluctuations of interest rates by conventional banks. Current market surveys indicate that the large section of Muslim community remains untapped by the banking industry due to either non-availability of free banking on low incomes.
مازلنا على شنو الشريعة الواحد شو مش زحلوا أنو أولا الحمد لله الحمد لله.
The research also indicates that potential markets for Islamic banking will be the business communities if the challenge will just wait a second. The challenge will, however, be to convince the Muslim community that these are truly full-fledged Islamic banks with Sharia advisory boards of international standards.
Anyway, مسلم الكل مسلم الواحد جنوب وجه الواحد جنوب سوى حلفي
Both Muslims and non-Muslims look forward to interest-free banking services that is efficient, modern, solid, and transparent and consumer-friendly. These banks will be required to invest heavily in the latest state of the art technology to reduce costs and remain competitive with the conventional bank. An example of the banking system, Islamic banking system, is Real Madrid.
الواحد وشنو السلوى كريستيانو رونالدو واحد وشنو المهم المليون واو يعني تعرف واحد شاسون واحد حبيبي وش
When they bought Ronaldo, they came to take money from us because it's free interest. They didn't go to Spanish and England banks.
بس حلو والله
Islamic banking is still in the siege of evolution. These banks will require to invest heavily in the latest state-of-the-art technology to reduce fraud.
جنرال مش الحلو دوجو الواد وحد وحد شكرا حبيبي أول حبيبي هذا الوصية.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may ask if Islamic banking is feasible, and His Highness is saying that Islamic banking is still in the stage of evolution. No one can say that there is a desire amongst Muslim savers to invest their savings in the place which are permitted by the Sharia.
وأنه نشوحه الله إن شاء الله الوحدة الحمد.
Nevertheless, they must be provided with halal returns on their investments. Islamic scholars and practical bankers took up the challenge and have made admirable progress in the last few decades in providing a number of such instruments.
شو الحلوة شو فرهودو ذزن شو زنزن.
However, the concepts of Islamic banking and finance are still in their early stages of development, and Islamic banking is continually testing and refining those concepts.
الله إن شاء الله الحمد لله.
Thank you very much for your attention.
شكرا.
Thank you. Do you have any question? Yes, sir.
الشريعة يا حبيبي.
اشرح له ولا كنت أعلم.
His Highness is saying that you're right. You got the point.
أيوة حلو وش تفعل؟
Does anybody else have any other question or comment?
شكرا.
You can ask us too.
Thank you very much.
شكرا.
Yeah.